It's Sunday afternoon here in Jackson, Georgia, and this is Walter. Today I thought I'd share one of my stories with you. Came out here the other day. And they were repaving that crossing down there, putting new asphalt on it, so it's looking nicer today. But as I stand here, I thought I'd share one of my stories with you today. Trains are a little light running today. I haven't heard anything lately. 53 years ago, I remember it well because it was my birthday and I was 14 years old. I had a little something happen that I was thinking about a while ago and I thought I'd share it with you. In those days, on your birthday, you didn't get fancy gifts and toys and video games and stuff. You got practical gifts like new clothes and new shoes, stuff like that. And you were grateful to get them, even though your parents picked out stuff that wasn't your style or something you didn't really want to wear. You didn't have no choice in my house. My father ruled the house with an iron fist. He was a gruff man and never really showed his affection to us, the way most fathers probably would their son. But my brother and I, we managed to do our share of getting in trouble. And it was on my 14th birthday that I got my last whipping from him. Well, maybe it wasn't the last one, but the last one I remember. We lived at that time in Eau Gallie, Florida, not too far from the river. We did a lot of fishing and roaming the area, and we'd go down to the river and mess around. But on this day, there was a couple boys lived down the street from us. Their name was Young, Mike Young and Steve Young. The older boy was named Steve. Steve was a year older than me, and he was kind of slow walking, like the cartoon character. Can't think of his name, but he just walked slow and dragged his feet, and you had to kind of stand back and sight him by a distant pole to see if he was even moving. We decided we'd walk down to the Eau Gallie River. That's probably about a mile from the house. We walked down there and I was wearing my new clothes for my birthday. Had on new pants, new shirt, new shoes. We got down to the river and they had been dredging. I don't know if you know what dredging is, but they come down through the river with a big dredge and they dredge mud off the bottom of the river and pump it up on the riverbank to make more land. Put dirt back where it eroded from the banks of the river. But they had been dredging a week or so before, and they had dredged up all new dirt out there along the riverbank, right there by the bridge where US 1 crossed the river. I thought the bridge was probably about as long as from here to the other side of that crossing down there. And we was about this distance from it, but I walked down to the riverbank. And I couldn't go to the river without walking out to the riverbank. And the dirt and dredged up mud looked dry, but it was just a dry crust on top of it. Underneath that dredged up dirt was pure mud. I mean, black, yucky, oozy mud. It didn't dawn on me that it might not be safe to walk on. I proceeded to walk on out there. Steve, being slow, he was still behind me. He wasn't keeping up, which turned out to be a good thing in my benefit. Got almost to the riverbank and I began to sink in the mud, and I thought, oh Lord, I'm getting my shoes muddy. I better turn around and go back. But by that time I was up to my ankles. Tried to step back and I was up to my knees. And I started down in that mud just like quicksand. It was a bog. I'm getting kind of panicked then. Got to frailing around trying to get out of that mud and got deeper. Pretty soon I was down to my waist in that mud, going down. And Steve just stood there looking at me like a knot on a log. I said, help me, get me out of here. Well, I don't know what to do. I was thinking on my feet. Go find a stick, find a rope, find a pole, get something. He was gone about a minute or two. By the time he got back, I was up to my chest in that mud. I had pretty well settled down because I realized the more I squirmed around, the deeper I was getting in the mud. He came back with a pole or stick or something. I don't remember what it was now. Stuck it out there to me and I grabbed a hold of it and he managed to pull me out of that mud. It was a struggle to pull me out too. Well, when I got out, naturally I was muddy from head to toe. One of my shoes was missing, and my new clothes was ruined. And I looked like Pigpen in the cartoons. I mean, I was just a mess. But I felt so grateful to be alive. I had survived, and I felt, this is great, I'm still alive. You gotta remember, my father ruled our house with an iron fist, and we had rules. We weren't supposed to be too far out of hollering distance from the house. But it didn't dawn on me that he might even be home when I got home. I thought I could go home and clean up and I'd be all right. But he saw me coming down the street. Well, if they do catch me, they'll be glad I'm alive. They won't be too upset. He had his strap he used on us to whip us. I mean, he would whip the hell out of you nowadays. He'd put you in jail if you whip a kid the way he whipped us. And he was waiting for me. I got one heck of a whipping from him. Whooping, you might say. And I'll never forgot that. My kid ever comes home, I'll be so grateful that he's alive. I'll hug him and tell him, I'm glad you're all right, son. But no, I didn't get nothing like that from him. Just a whooping for my 14th birthday. We did our share of getting in trouble, like most boys do. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. You might want to be careful when you're roaming around the riverbanks nowadays, or anytime.